Good afternoon or morning. I think it's morning. Double check here. Morning. Yeah, it's morning. It's going on 11 o'clock a.m. So that's still morning officially, I guess. Morning, friends. Sorry. Sarah just headed out to the grocery store with Joey, so I'm kind of here on my lonesome, which is actually really good. I'm glad that she's getting out and she's getting some stuff done and she's starting to feel like she can. That's a big positive. Got to get after Jack about the laundry. Anyways, going through the book last night and just picking up some little bits and pieces. And what I initially wanted to do with the book, if you've been paying attention at all, was talk about some of the things I learned in it and some of the things I got from it. From my perspective, anyways, when I came up and when I came along. Third edition was kind of the standard at the time, so that's why I've been so adamant about getting my hands on one. One of the things that people would say all the time, and I'm sure if you've been in the program for any length of time or you've spent any time at around a table or at a meeting, or maybe you have people in recovery in your life, you've heard the little cliche quotes, the slogans, easy does it, fake it till you make it, things like that. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow is one of my personal favorites. I actually had that engraved on the back of my first year medallion. The little cliche things that come along the way, and they're wonderful because they're just little seeds that get planted and then they stick. And this is the kind of stuff that people like me need to grasp onto, right? That's one of the things I was actually talking to my son about earlier on in the week. Like, I'm trying to get up something every day so that people can, if you're interested in it, you can, click and take a listen every single day. And I'm trying to get better at it. Back to the book, not to Bunny Trail. The third edition, page 449, is one of those things. I heard my father, and I would hear my mother, and I would hear other people around the tables talking about, you know what, you need 449. You need to take a look at page 449. This one needs 449. 449 over here, man. You would hear things like that when I actually got my butt, to a table and my knees underneath the table. Some of the old timers in my day, 449, man, you better get your butt to to page 449. This kid needs 449. And you would hear that, in reference to various things going on in your life. You'd be, sitting at a closed table. I mean, I'd be sitting at a closed table, having a conversation after a meeting and complaining about things and carrying on about stuff, about, how difficult my life is, or about how I'm having problems with my wife or my children, or, the job's not panning out the way I wanted it to, or the plans that I had made were going kind of according to the way I thought they might play out. And 449, page 449. So I opened up the book last night thinking to myself, I wonder, man, it's the third edition. I know exactly what I'm hoping to see on page 449. And sure enough, guess what our friend did right there? Page 449. He blocked it out, man. And of all of the things that I've seen in this book so far that have been done in pencil, interestingly, and there's so much of it, so much of this stuff, especially, in the earliest pages of the book where you would expect to see a lot of stuff. This is a great one right here. Take a look at that. That is marked up, my friends. Marked up. Of all the stuff that I've seen, so much of it is pencil. So much of the notes have been made in pencil. This one right here on page 449, and I'll show it to you again. That's pen. He did that in pen. So I don't know, maybe it's the only thing that he had available to him at the time, or maybe he thought that one needed to be permanent. But page 449, acceptance, and acceptance is the answer. It's one of those cornerstones to our journey in sobriety. Acceptance. And there's so many things that happen in your day-to-day life, so many things that are happening in the world even right now today that don't require acceptance, especially for those of us in recovery. We're allowed to put our foot down. We're allowed to draw a line in the sand. We're allowed to create boundaries in our lives. And as you wander along in these steps, and one day at a time turns into, man, it's been 3 months, 90 days token. Oh my gosh, like I can't believe I'm 9 months out. How am I ever going to make it to a year? As these things manifest in our lives and we go forward, we learn the value in creating boundaries. So certainly there's moments that arrive where we're tasked to not accept certain things in our lives. And yet the idea of acceptance, of learning to accept that thing as it is and move forward, is an absolute cornerstone in those earliest days of recovery. And it's a lesson that we learn. And to that end, I believe it's page 417 in the 4th edition. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is a place that we certainly have to spend some time and study as we each individually journey on this road, right? It was just a fascinating moment for me to open up this book, 3rd edition, that I had, clung to so desperately in those earliest days of my sobriety, and those lessons that I grew up learning about. My father came into Alcoholics Anonymous when I was 7 years old, so this is something, and I don't mean this in a braggadocious way, but certainly at 53, with 25 years of my own sobriety under my belt, I feel like, I was given a master class in this kind of stuff before I was, old enough to attend high school. These lessons have been such a part of who I am, and having this book at my disposal now has just been a reawakening of so many things, and I feel blessed by it. So again, thank you to those who were able to make it happen. And I feel like I bunny trailed because I was definitely going somewhere, and now I've kind of wandered off. But at any rate, I'll try and bring it back simply by saying, hitting that Google search button, popping page 449, just those words. I put it at the front of the video. Go ahead and do that, and you will see how important this lesson is for us. If you know anything about the internet and traffic, I think there was like 336 million hits in 0.44 seconds just on the word page and the number 449, page 449. 336 million hits in 0.44 seconds. And you look at that page that I put in the front of it, you type 449 in your own search engine and see what pops up. The value in this lesson can't be understated. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to hit the stop button, and hopefully I didn't babble too much, man. I really don't want to do that. I want to get better at this stuff, and leave you with it, man. Thank you so much if you're continuing to tune in. I'm going to do everything I can to try and get this stuff out there better in a more, palatable way, because it just doesn't feel very palatable for me. But let's say that we got this one done today. Waiting on the 12 and 12, get my hands on a 12 and 12, and maybe I'll start powering through these steps. So again, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in, and I really appreciate all of you, man. Take care. Bye.